shit. Bye, Ringo. About 70 degrees. I have on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm leaving my house, heading up to, in South Texas, headed up to New Mexico, near Sandia Peak. Cold up there. It was 16 degrees this morning. And that is a 54 degree temperature differential. $16 degrees is cold. Going to be there for about a week. My wife and I both had some downtime, and it's Thanksgiving, and I thought it'd be great for her to go spend a few days with her mother, take the kids and hang out with her mom for Thanksgiving, because I don't think they've ever gone up there for Thanksgiving. And because my wife and I homeschool our kids, you know, we're together 24/7, which is great. We like it. It's not easy. If you're married, you sure as heck know what I'm talking about. But I have a great wife. You know, she is not perfect, you know, by any I guess, from a male perspective. But I like her most of the time, and I love her, I think, all the time, which is great because it hasn't always been like that. So anyway, we had about a week off, and I suggested to her that she take the kids, go spend Thanksgiving with her mom, who lives several hours in the other direction, and that'd be great, you know, because it'll be good. It'll be good for her. It'll be sure be good for her mother, and they've never done that before, and so it's cool. I'm gonna miss them. I've had real, you know, I'm leaving my wife and 3 kids behind to travel about 800 miles from my house, where it is a beautiful, if you can see that blue sky, that's Homer Simpson sky, you can see that. And right now the temperature indicator in my 4Runner says the outside temperature is 74 degrees, and it's great. It's perfect. It is perfect. So I'm headed to where it's, oh, and it's 16 degrees, and I was checking something I did not think about was the wind speed. And I noticed that all over the mountains today, wind speeds were gusting anywhere from a low of 54 miles an hour to a high at Sandia Peak of 90 miles an hour. So that wind chill, that's pretty fierce. I forgot all about wind chill. I mean, this is South Texas. We don't have wind chill. If the wind blows hard enough, it catches the woods on fire, you know, in the summer. But I'm excited. You know, I have been pacing the floors, packing my pack, unpacking my pack, repacking my pack, weighing my pack. It's great. You go through the mental checklist in your mind. You know, did you remember the Tylenol? Did you remember clean socks? Knit cap, knife. So I ended up carrying, well, my pack weighs 60 pounds, and it's full. It's a 4,500 cubic inch United States Marine Corps size medium ILBE pack. That ILBE pack only comes in a size medium. You can't get it any larger. And when I first got that pack, I thought it was beautiful. This is my first road trip with it. I generally use my old Army Alice pack, which I love. You know, I need to improve the padding on that pack, because the configuration is excellent for 3 days. I'm going to be gone for about 8 days, probably, well, maybe 7. And two problems with that, you know, with it being so cold, you have to carry a lot of equipment. And a lot of extra clothing. So I've got 3 knives plus a good pocket knife. I got a big knife, you know, an Artac 2. I have a Gerber Prodigy and a Columbia River knife and tool Fossil. That Fossil pocket knife, by the way, is a steal. I highly recommend that you buy one if you're in the market for a pocket knife. It's different, but it's sturdy. Fits the hand real well. And if you had to get in a fight with somebody and didn't have it's got about a 4-inch blade on it. Anyway, because it has a pommel. It's a pocket knife with a pommel. And that pommel is ferocious. I would hate somebody to pop me upside the head with the pommel of that Fossil. You're going to put them down, man. They are going down. Or hit them in the back of the neck, the base of the top of the spine there, on that bone, any joint. Man, you pop them with that, you don't have to cut them. You'll incapacitate them. But that's not camping. I'm going up to Three Rivers, New Mexico. It's about 800 miles from here. I went out there 2 summers ago by myself, spent about a week out there, climbed No Gales Peak, and that damn peak was covered with flies, man. It was disgusting. It was high. I don't know what all those flies were doing up there. I don't know what they eat. Some plant, I guess. They loved it. It was fly heaven. And then I went over to Three Rivers and hiked up that for a couple of days and stayed in I found a cave. I found a big enough cave to sleep comfortably in. You could put probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 people in there. And have a nice sized fire pit. It was up off the creek about 20 feet. It had some bones on the ground in front of it. I think it was bear cave. A lot of bears up here at Three Rivers. I don't expect us to see any. I hope not. I hope they're hibernating. Today is the Thursday before Thanksgiving, 2016. Isn't it beautiful? It is beautiful. It's beautiful here. This is a special place. It's hard to leave it to go backpacking. I've got some acreage out behind our house. I can hunt off my back porch. My wife found the place. She found it. She knew how badly I wanted to get out of the subdivision. I just can't bear it. I can't bear it. I'm kind of a recluse. I kind of stick to myself. I don't really need much social interaction with people. I like people just fine. They just never really, people don't think about things. They don't do much thinking, and they don't pay much attention, and they don't dig into things. And it's the shocking level of ignorance that really keeps me to myself. That's the interstate in front of us, I-10 West. So I'm going to cruise up here and get on the interstate, and we'll talk again in a little while. Discovered that there's more water under the ocean than there is in the ocean. Hydraulic geologic shock. It's fascinating. If you just have a heart that's open to the truth, doesn't matter what anybody else says, just seek the truth. Seek it. I know you seek it, that's why you go to the woods. Bushmasters are special people. You're special. You're unique. How many of your friends look at you and go, what the hell are you going out there? Well, it's 20 degrees outside. That's fun. We're weird. We're different. We're not like everybody else. And our spirits yearn for something. We're hungry for something. What we're hungry for is a relationship with God. That's when we go. I'm not perfect, so let's not get into, I'm not perfect, I can't walk on water. No, I can't. I've tried. Oh, yeah. I tried to gin up my faith, so I'd have sufficient faith. Jesus said, if you have sufficient, you can move a mountain. Just tell it to move. It'll move. I can't do it. I can't do it. But you know what? I do have great faith. It's different. I can tell you that. It is special. It is really something unique. And for me, at least, and the power of prayer, oh yeah. God works. God, He can change reality. It's truly like, I've experienced it in my life, where, I just knew, I said, man, God has changed reality for me. Because, whereas, the day before, my world had been, it's like one way. But I prayed a lot and talked to the Lord a lot and really sought Him in prayer. Something is different. The world is not the same. It's not the same, but you never can put your finger on it. It's something you just know. And you're not hoping. It's beyond the hope. It is the reality of that change happened. You don't know what it is. You can't. It's so finely cut that you can't see the scar. You can't see the seam in it. And I just had a thought. It's like extra dimensions, multi-dimensional stuff. Like CERN is trying to break into another dimension. Those are some strange people, but and that's the way it is. We change our reality by a relationship with the Lord. He changes our reality, and I think He directs us through some path that we take where everything looks the same, the people look the same, your friends Or they begin to change as you develop a relationship with the Lord, and you start looking, you just have the bad ones fall away. They're not interested in anything you have to say about Jesus. They don't want to hear about it. And yeah, I guess it is a very personal thing. I don't hang out with people. I like to talk to people. I enjoy a little bit of social activity, but for the most part, I just stick to myself. I'm married, have some kids. And we have our own little world. We go to church. It's great. I pray with my little boys. Alright, so anyway, it's dark. You're not going to see much for the next 450 miles. So, sun's coming up. I'll let y'all watch the back of this tractor. Doesn't that look good? Look, there goes a Chevrolet. Woo! Look at that pickup. Wow. That's some exciting stuff right there. That is some digital media that you won't get anywhere else on the internet. Except on my channel. Alright, brothers and sisters. I know there's some girls out there. Who is that? Survival Lily? Some German girl, I think. I don't know if she lives in Europe or in Canada. She makes some good videos, though. She has that. I think it's a German accent. Speaks perfect English. She makes a pretty good fort. That's what we do, right? We build forts. She makes a pretty good fort. Who else? Hats off to Nut and Fancy. You got a lot of ideas on things, but I've learned some things from you. Yeah, I did buy that R-Tech too. Really Big Monkey 1. Georgia boy. Holy cow. That boy from way down south, smart though. He is smart as a whip. He likes the woods too. Alright. Beautiful. Sun's up. It's about an hour since my last segment. I'm somewhere around a place called Kent, Texas. I've seen one building in the last hour. One building. I'm driving 65 miles an hour. Lot of diesel traffic on this highway. Beautiful out here. Not much to see. Alright, I'm here. It took me about 7 hours to drive here this morning, about 3 hours drive time yesterday. It was a beautiful drive. I carried this beast about a mile up after I parked. It weighs around 65 pounds, and 65 pounds is heavy. It's heavy. I love the pack though. You know, this is the first time that the ILBE and I have been on I don't know, been out to the woods in the dead of winter. Well, it's not the dead of winter, but it gets in the teens. It gets in the teens here at night. 14, 15, 16, 17 teens. Right now it's about 40 degrees. It's probably, yeah, probably 40. It was about 42 a while ago. And it's going to get dark here soon. I haven't done anything except get that pack off my back, and it's heavy. It went off the scale at 250. That's when my scale aired out, and I added more stuff to it and put some more stuff in there today. So it's really heavy. The thing I noticed about the pack, if you'll notice, see how I have it packed, it's pretty straight up. There is too much weight on the back. And this is the radio pouch. It's full of dry food, so it's light, and this is light, and this is light, and this is light. However, it just felt like it was it wanted to pull me over backwards a little bit. Didn't really feel like it was resting on my hips. It felt like it was resting on my shoulders. So, and the food is lightweight. I'll eat all the food, and that might be about 3 pounds. I carried a couple of water bottles. I'll go down probably with them empty. And I'm not going to lose much weight on the return trip, which is something of a concern. But I have to go back to my truck tomorrow because I left the camera mount in my truck that mounts the camera to my tripod, and I have some cigars in my 4Runner, and cigars need to be kept at an ambient temperature of 70 degrees with 70% humidity, and it's probably 50 degrees in my 4Runner right now, and it's going to be about 15 degrees in my 4Runner in the morning. So I need to get them out and take better care of them. I just didn't have another hand. I had a walking stick. I had this walking stick in my right hand. I had that vest and my little sleeping bag pillow in my left hand. I carried it like a football and huffed and puffed all the way up here, carrying that 60-pound pack. And uphill all the way for about a mile. Worth every step. I don't care how cold it gets. Also, I got a rocking sleeping bag. It's brand new. I haven't slept in it before, and I'll either give you a great report tomorrow, or I won't. It's beautiful out here. I can't wait to stop talking, and I gotta build a shelter. See ya. Okay, I changed clothes. The temperature dropped fairly quickly. I was a little bit sweaty from the hike, but the temperature dropped when the sun went over the top of that hill over there. So I got on a long sleeve polypropylene shirt. Oh, long sleeve polypropylene shirt, which I've had for a couple of 3 decades now. And underneath that, I have a very unique undergarment that dries faster than it absorbs water and lets much more water vapor pass through it than collects in the fibers, and the fibers dry faster than they collect water. So I went and cut some dry grass. I had to pull just about everything out of my pack to buy my clothes, everything that I needed. My thick beanie, this wool sweater that my wife, awesome wife, she gets concerned about me when I'm going to go do something, and so she bought me this wool sweater. This is a Marine Corps wool sweater that they're hard to find. The acrylic ones, I think, are $100 or something like that. And this one's 100% wool. I like it. So what I did, I went and cut some dry grasses. They grow in clumps around here, so you have to go from clump to clump. And I cut these dry grasses. I might go get another load, but once I spread these out, they'll provide a nice, warm, dry layer of insulation between me and the ground. And I'll take this tarp, which is I guess that's aluminized. I don't know, but it probably is aluminum, right? Yeah. I'll use that underneath, on top of this dry grass, and then I'll put that blue foam pad on top of this, and I'll get out this sleeping bag that my wife bought for me too. The sleeping bags that I have, I'd complained about them being cold in the feet. Those U.S. Army intermediate bags, they're for people that are about 5'8" to 5'10", and I'm exactly 6 feet tall, and my feet press down against the end a little bit, just a little bit, and my head presses up against the little head cover, because it's a mummy bag, and so it makes it tight and squeezes out the air from the insulation at my feet and my head, where I lose the most heat. So I sleep cold in them. And anyway, she wanted me to buy a new sleeping bag. So I looked around and I bought a Wiggy's super light 0 degree bag. Kind of heavy. I'll get it out in a minute and I'll show you. Yeah. Okay, I cut some more grass. You can see I cut some more grass and have it laid out there under that tarp. I'm just going to leave that aluminized tarp double folded on top of the grass. And I got my sleeping bag, and it's in a compression sack. I got it out of my pack. I want to show you how this is done. There is you see how the ends of it, just kind of look like mushroom caps? You do them last. And you do this strap, and there's one underneath there. You do those 3 straps. Whoops. You do, see how it's shaped like a mushroom cap right here? You do these last. This does, I don't know, about half the compression. You have 3 straps. This is a military issue compression bag. It's great, super strong. I highly recommend it. So, yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. You do the center strap, get it started. Then you do this strap and this strap. Center strap, this strap, this strap, center strap, this strap, this strap. Then you go back and forth, getting it tighter and tighter, and you get it extremely tight. Then you start with these. And it's hard. Your hands will be sore. Don't look forward to doing it again to go home. Then you pull these down. And this bag will bounce when you drop it. That's how tight it is. I can't even get my finger under. Yeah, maybe I can. Okay. It'll bounce. Watch this. It bounces. It's tight. Okay, I gotta get busy on that. While we're out here at 3 Rivers, and we've seen so many of these trees all torn up, let's look at this tree, because here we can plainly see the growth rings. I counted these growth rings already. This is some kind of pine tree. This is year 1, when it was a sapling. And this is about a 15-year time span, because I counted 15 growth rings from this span to here. But you can see, of course, uniformly around the tree, these growth rings get a lot closer together, which means that the rain has been consistently poor for this span of time. I counted these. This is about 60. I mean, with 58, 59, 60, or 59, 60, 61, you can't really tell because they trimmed the edges here with an axe or something. Anyway, I don't know why they did that, but this span of time here, okay, this span of time is 15 years. Had the rainfall been the same, This tree, in another 15 years, would have been out to here. Instead, that's about 45 years worth of growth. 3 times the length of time to get to this growth stage with this level of rainfall. This was about 1958. Minus 15 be 1948, 1943. And there are thousands of trees like this dead out here. There's another one right there, another one right there. I mean, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And it was the pine beetle, or the pine borer. And, you know, we have too many pines. There are these big forestry companies like Arthur Temple, who owns Temple Industries in East Texas. Millions of acres of pines. They go in and they lease the land, or they buy the land, and they will mow everything down. They cut everything down, and then they replant it in their own select pine trees, which all grow to be about that diameter, and then they cut them down. They're tall, skinny trees. They don't add any value whatsoever, really. They're more like weeds, and they make 2x4s and paper out of them. And so, because those trees were so close together, the pine beetle, once it got a toehold, it was able to proliferate unimaginably, because there's so much food for it, and it could go from tree to tree to tree to tree to tree so easily because there were no hardwoods. The trees were all jam-packed in close together, and you had this explosion of pine beetles, and they spread out all over East Texas, and apparently here. I don't know when they got here. When I was here a couple of years ago, 13 or 14, I forget. None of this was like this. It was beautiful. These gorgeous, tall, big diameter pine trees all over the place. I mean, it was like an alpine forest. It was beautiful. It's still beautiful, but until there is so much tree debris on the trails, you can't hike. It's ridiculous. These trees, I'm telling you, it is like Hiroshima here, or Nagasaki. And the spruce trees are falling too. Now, you know, in 50 years, when most of these trees have decomposed, it'll be pretty again. And maybe, you know, no more pine beetle. But it's just a really good example. You know, we've had diminished rainfall, obviously, for about 60 years, at least in this area. And it happened rather suddenly, about 1943, 1944. Hey, isn't that when they exploded the first nuclear weapon? And it was close to here. Alamogordo is only 20 miles from here. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? There's a correlation in time frames here between the first test of a nuclear device, an explosive nuclear device, and the cessation of rainfall in this area. It didn't cease, but it diminished. So, anyway, something to think about. Talk to you later. Hey, bud. Making a video. Yeah.